Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nashville Tour Stop podcast, episode number 109, featuring the one, the only, the eminent 4'11" woman in the house. Welcome, Kayla Woodson, to the podcast. Nailed it.
I was not expecting that. I love that you know that, though.
Welcome to my house. Welcome to the pod.
This is a cool house.
Thank you. It's small.
I mean, it's better than an apartment.
Well, it's actually bigger than anywhere else I've ever lived, so I'm not too upset about it. I no longer have to share one bathroom with 3 other dudes.
That's plus.
Growing up. Hashtag this is 30.
It does have its perks. Honestly.
Well, thanks for coming on the podcast today. What have you been up to today? What have you been up to this week?
I'm catching up on my life this week.
Okay.
So
tell me everything.
Tell you everything. Okay, well, as we all know, there was the snow week, right? Mm-hmm. So that was just chaos.
Snowmageddon 2024, the year of our Lord Lainey Wilson.
Here's the thing, though, right? Like, I don't mind being stuck at home.
Right.
But then I want the option to leave.
That's the problem.
That's the problem I don't like. Like, being snowed in for a week, like, the first couple of days, I'm like, it's pretty.
Because you're a teacher, right?
Yeah. I teach preschool.
So, technically, that counts as teaching.
Yeah,
you're
technically
teaching the minds of young children.
Yes, very young
Red,
children.
Red, green, blue.
Yeah, I can kill it in colors and shapes. I can. Oh, but like, ask me like a high school math question, I'm out.
Same.
Yeah, I'm out. But
I was bad at high school math in high school math.
Same.
It was just a slow crawl from bad to worse.
Yeah, I was more of like the English kid. Like, I could write all day, every day. But besides math, my brother was good at math. So I'd be like, hey.
You're like,
help me out.
Can you help me with long division?
You know, I'm just like catching up this week. So between that and then I was in Mexico all last week.
Okay, why were you in Mexico?
So I had some good friends that got married. So
amazing.
I know, right? Like, what a perfect time. Like,
yeah,
that couldn't have been planned any better.
Go straight from snowy hell Nashville to summer paradise Mexico.
And then I came back to
cold hell Nashville.
Which I'm glad to be back, but I'm just like, I feel like I need to catch up. Because it was like 2 weeks of my life that were just not on a normal schedule, if that makes sense.
What did you do during the shutdown? Like the snowstorm, did you just watch TV and eat junk food? That's what I did.
I tried not to eat junk food. I did eat a little, I will say that. And how can you not, like, when you're snowed in?
Okay, let's do a roster of everything I ate. I ate 3 pizzas. Everything was frozen. 3 pizzas, 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's.
Honestly, that sounds amazing.
2 full cartons of Chunky Chips Ahoy. And then I bought a 12-pack of one of those, like, Arnold Palmer iced tea lemonade things.
Oh, the black cans?
Yeah, those
oh my gosh,
so
those
good.
are so good.
Sponsor us, Arizona.
Really, though, honestly. I want some of those if you get sponsorship.
But I ate so much junk, and I slept right there on my couch for 5 days.
That's
like,
I did like rewatch things. Like I did like the whole Hunger Games series.
Nice. I did Lord of the Rings.
So like I did stuff like that, but I tried to be somewhat productive. Like I tried to get some work done that I had just like been not putting off, but like things that just needed to be done.
Lesson planning.
And
kind
I finally just more like music stuff. Like
gotcha.
I have things that I needed to like plan out for like my new song and
when
things
normally
like that.
You would justify, be like, oh, I don't have time, and
yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. You know?
And then you finally did have time. It was like during the COVID shutdown when everyone's like, oh, I don't have the time to like learn a new language. And now the government and the world is like, here's 6 months.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Honestly, it kind of felt like I told someone that the other day. Like I felt like I was like starting COVID all over again.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, thank God it was only for a week.
Right.
But I was like, oh my gosh. Like.
So what year did you move to Nashville?
2012.
12. You've been here for 12 years?
OG. No.
Damn.
Yeah, so
I moved here for Belmont, right?
Yes, I went to Belmont, and then I graduated in 2016 and stayed.
So we're the same age.
Yeah.
Look at us.
30.
Class of 2016, baby. I actually had to do a victory lap semester because I took a break and went to Mexico and partied. That was actually what I did.
It's a trend.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't say I'm 30. I'm not 30 yet.
On the down low, on 30. The video podcast.
On the video where they see me doing this. Yeah. No, it's been fun. I feel like Nashville's grown so much. Like, I mean, it's still growing now, but when I see half the stuff, especially downtown,
like 12 South used to be the ghetto.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't
East
go there.
Nashville? No one went to East Nashville. Like, no.
Pop, pop. Is it fireworks or is it gunshots?
Like, I used to, like, make myself go to the pharmacy because I love the pharmacy so much.
So
but
good.
I was terrified to go there. I mean, that's awful. And now it's like...
It's like the trendiest place you can go.
Most of my friends live in East Nashville. And
Top 10 places to visit while you're visiting Nashville. The pharmacy.
I love the pharmacy.
5 points.
But, like, even, like, the Music City Center was pretty much just getting finished when I moved here.
That's crazy to me. Because it just seems like ubiquitous with living in Nashville now, as does like the crazy skyline we have. But I mean, when I moved here, even the 505 tower, I call it a vape pen, just that square black tower downtown.
I know exactly
that wasn't
what you're
there.
talking about. No, a lot of buildings were not there. It's
crazy.
Insane. Like, even just like the whole bachelorette party, like that was never, when I moved here, that was never a thing. Like, it just all of a sudden in the last like 5 years, it's like, oh, everybody wants to come here.
Let's put up a sign and say we're closed.
We're closed. At capacity.
We're closed. Don't ask.
I mean, it's fun. I actually like it because, like, when people do have, like, bachelorette parties here, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm staying in my apartment.
Come hang with me. Because no one's going and having their bachelorette party in Columbia, Missouri.
No.
Where I grew up. Because no one dreams of growing up and moving to Columbia, Missouri.
Well, I feel like either way, I'm good. Like, I'm from close to New Orleans. So, like, I feel like either way, I'm set.
You're from a place that sounds like Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle Rock. Wagaman. I was like, what? Fraggle Rock.
You're from
Wagaman.
You're from Wagaman?
Wagaman, Louisiana. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like a Looney Tunes town.
I used to tell people like wag-a-tail, wag-a-man. That's the best way to explain it.
Wagaman. But that's close to New Orleans then.
It's about 20 minutes outside.
I mean, talk about tourist destinations, New Orleans and Bourbon Street. I went there once and I was like, I get it.
Yeah, it only takes one time to understand it.
I did a photo shoot at a New Orleans bar, actually, for the album I released in 2017.
Okay.
And the cover artwork is me sitting at a bar there.
Hello.
But yeah, I forget what the bar was called, but it was super tiny, and it had this, I would assume just some kind of a band playing in there. There was a dude with a tuba, but it was so tiny, and my friend just was taking photos of me drinking at this bar, and I was like, how indicative of what the future of my life was about to look like. Just pictures of me at bars.
And now you're literally at bars, every night?
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
Not because I want to go out drinking every day of the week, but thank you, Tour Stop. Thank you, Tour Stop.
I mean, hey, at least it's like a job that you love, though.
It is. I describe it to people as like, I do what tourists do for vacation. Like, I go to a bar, and I have a beer, and I watch a band.
Yeah.
And then they're like, and they give me money to do that.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy job.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a great job.
It's not bad.
I mean, hey.
Anytime you catch me complaining, be like, hey.
Remember?
Just stop that.
You could get a normal job.
You could go back to serving at the Frothy Monkey.
See?
Which I did for 9 days and then quit on the spot. It was so bad. It was my first job in Nashville. And I love Frothy Monkey now, but 7 years ago when I moved here, I had never served. And I applied for a job. Okay. And when I showed up for my first day, no one was there. And they had forgot they hired me.
Oh my gosh.
So I showed up for the downtown Frothy Monkey on 5th Avenue. And I was supposed to be one of the opening shifts. And they were supposed to open at like 5 or 6 o'clock. So I got there 5:45, whatever it was, before my shift started. And I just waited on the street until someone showed up.
Oh no.
And they didn't open until 7. So I'm on the street by myself for like an hour thinking like, did I go to the wrong place? And this dude showed up and he was the cook. He's like, are you waiting for something? I'm like, hey, I got a job.
No, I'm sitting here for fun.
He's like, I'm just hanging out in front of the Frothy Monkey waiting for the coffee that hasn't been prepared yet.
Jeez.
But when he let me in, he's like, so did somebody hire you? And I was like, yeah, I had an interview a couple weeks ago. They said this was my first day. And he goes, okay, welcome to Frothy Monkey. Maybe we should do that for all jobs. Just go into I am the captain now.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Go into Amazon and be like, I am Jeff Bezos now.
If only. Jeez.
So how long have you been teaching?
Not very long. So,
was this not what you went to school for then?
No. So I went to Belmont. I studied entertainment industry studies.
Okay.
So like music business.
That's cool.
Pretty much anything entertainment related. Music,
gotcha.
television, radio, travel, sports. And I started working at the Country Music Hall of Fame downtown a week after I graduated.
Okay, cool.
And then with COVID, so I've been there almost 6 years. They let most of our department go. So
that sucks.
They furloughed us, and then by the week of Christmas 2020, I got let go.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it is what it is. But one of the guys that I had worked with at the Hall of Fame, of course, when it rains, it pours. So one of my tires popped on my car with no job.
Yep.
Go figure.
That's
then
how it
that
happens.
led to all 4 needing to be changed because that's how it rolls. Right?
Oh, yeah. That's happened to me so many times.
So I was in Sam's waiting to get my tires done, walking around, and I ran into him. And he was like, my wife is the assistant director at a preschool, and they really need help. Like, would you be interested? And I was like, sure. Like, at the time, I was truly like, it's a job. Like, I've always loved kids. I've babysat. Like,
right.
I
need to pay rent on time.
I need a job. And so by February, I had started working there, and I was what we call it floating. So basically, I sit there, I cut things out for teachers, I bring kids to the bathroom, all the little mundane things
that kids can't do themselves.
Yeah. And
like,
then,
go to the bathroom.
Like the teachers need help with something,
right.
Like they need something laminated or whatever. And then from there, 2022, I started being like their full-time like substitute.
That's cool.
And then from there, I was
you got the teaching job.
Yeah, so it kind of like
is it you with another teacher, or is it you by yourself?
It's me with another teacher.
Cool. Yeah. Managing how many children are in the class?
12.
That's a lot of
12 3-year-olds.
My nephew is 3 or 4 now, but yeah, they're crazy.
They're fun though.
They're fun.
I mean, some of the things
loud.
that come out of their mouth, I'm like,
you're like, where do those thoughts come from?
And they're so observant. Like you don't even have to be talking to them, and you're talking about something else to somebody, and they will pick it up. They know exactly. I always tell my friends, I'm like, when you have kids, remember that your children tell their preschool teachers everything.
There was a lady with daddy sitting on his lap, and it wasn't mommy.
They
like,
would.
What?
I mean, I hope I've never gotten that one. I have not gotten that one, and I don't think I will. But yeah, they will. They'll tell you exactly what's up.
I forget who I was talking with, kind of like that. But kids are unfiltered because
100%.
they don't even think I'm saying this to be bad, or I'm saying this to insult you. But they're just like, you're tall and you have wide hips, and you're like.
Yeah. That's honestly one of the main reasons I do love my job, but that's one of the main reasons I love my job is because being with kids all day, yes, like it is a little exhausting sometimes, but like kids are so unfiltered and so genuine that it's kind of a nice break from having to deal with adults.
No kidding, because adults
awful.
will lie to you. 3-year-olds haven't discovered lying quite yet.
But they're like, they tell you how they feel. And it's,
fall down on the ground, I'm going to cry for a minute, and then I'm going to be over it.
But they're so like, they'll tell you exactly how they feel, and they don't.
How do you feel today? Well, and you're like, oh, let's buckle up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And the things that they say, they don't even have to think about it. They're just like being themselves.
Stream of consciousness.
Yes. It's
adults
nice.
need more of that.
Really though.
Kayla.
Yes.
How do you feel today?
Right now,
that'd be great if she's.
Not sure.
That'd be great for you to like focus in on the camera and be like, I hate this.
I don't hate this. I love this. I just, it depends on what the questions are.
Nailed it. So you're from Louisiana, but you moved here in 2012 for school.
Yes.
What was the process of getting out of the South into I call this like the belt buckle.
Nashville is like
the very top of the South. What were the differences between growing up in the deep South versus the Cracker Barrel South?
The Cracker Barrels. So like for me, I guess one of my biggest things was New Orleans is a city, obviously, but it's very unique. And so, like, for me, I have never experienced living in a city.
A city.
Nashville, like a city. So that was a really big culture shock for me when I first moved here. And it's crazy because, like I said, now it's even bigger of a city than it was. But, like, for me, I remember, like, telling my mom, like, this is weird. Like, I don't know what to do in a city like this.
Had you always wanted to move here?
Yeah. College was my bargaining chip.
Yeah.
So I wanted to move here right out of high school to do music. And my mom was like, hey, like,
you should get a degree.
As much as I love that, like, maybe just look at colleges so I know you have a bed to sleep in and food to eat. And I was like, okay. And I had known a girl that went to Belmont, and she was telling me about it. So I was like, let me check it out. So my junior year of high school for Mardi Gras, the week of Mardi Gras, because we get off the whole week for Mardi Gras.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that week we came up here and I like toured Belmont, and I went home and I'm like, I'm doing Belmont.
That's fun.
And the high school counselor thought I was nuts because I like literally I had one option.
Belmont.
Because, you know, like they have like the college counselor.
Yeah.
And so I went in and I was like, this is my option. She was like, you don't want a backup? Like, what if you have to come home for some reason? And I was like, there's no backup.
No plan B.
There's no backup. Like, this is going to work. I mean, I knew I had like the grades and like,
yeah, I
wasn't worried about that. And
you were smart.
I was.
I wasn't.
Fast forward, I'm not sure how we're doing. But yeah, no, I wasn't worried about it. But like, it was funny because she made me feel crazy because she was like, you don't have like a backup plan? And I was like, nope. Like, this is it.
See, I wish I had had that kind of decisive attitude when I was 18 because I transferred colleges 3 times.
Oh, wow.
I did my freshman year outside of Kansas City. I did my sophomore year at a community college back home. And then I did my 3rd year, I did half of it at a state university in my hometown. And that was when I took time off. And my dad was like, oh, Aaron's going to drop out. There's no way he's going back to college. Because I had all of a sudden gotten a taste of what it was like to work full time and make real money. And my dad was full set. I'm like, you're probably not going to go back, are you? I was like, no, I am. I want to finish college. I want to do this. He goes,
no.
And lo and behold, I did take my 1 semester off when I started back in the summer and did a summer and fall semester, and I graduated in 16 December.
Okay.
So I finally got out, but I was so bad at college. I transferred 3 times and changed majors 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was one of those kids.
I did change my major. So.
I wasn't good at anything.
I think you found your calling, though.
I tried getting into business school. I applied to business school, but my grades were so bad. They're like, we don't want you to be in our business program. And I was like, well, turns out you don't have to.
Turns out you made a business on your own.
Oh my gosh. And it's so great now because University of Missouri, yes, I am getting your alumni donation requests. You can get fucked.
Oh. Curse words are allowed on the. No,
oh, yeah. As I wear my yeehaw motherfucker shirt.
I love that.
Have you never seen these?
No, I haven't seen the shirt. I mean, I hear you say it every time I play. But
yes. Yeah, years ago. So this idea started from Belcourt Taps back when Alex was running sound there back in 2020. Okay. And we had a guy named Dylan Underhill who was a drummer who came every week. Oh. And he was very, how shall we say?
Oh, gosh.
Hell yeah, brother flavored.
Okay.
So it was so often he said that.
Brother, but it was into that?
It was every time. No, he started at the end of the round, I'd say, Nashville Tour Stop. And he'd go, hell yeah, brother. Oh, you remember that? Because
that's worse.
Me and Alex had written a song about it called Hell Yeah, Brother because of that guy.
That's funny. That's funny.
And he started being like, oh, yeah, you should get T-shirts. And I had T-shirts, like Hell Yeah Brother shirts designed, like ready to print. And then I told him, I was like, oh, I love this. I'm going to get these printed. He goes, well, since I started it, I want a cut of every shirt you sell. And I was immediately like, nope, I'm going to change it. So that was when I started saying, yeehaw, motherfucker.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And
That's
this
fun.
turned into my most popular merchandise. I've sold hundreds of these.
I believe it.
And now for sale.
There you go.
No, but we had these for so long, and I've still got a couple of them left in the boxes, but I kind of quit wearing. I sized myself out.
Okay.
So I've been slowly sizing myself back in.
Okay.
So it's a little snug right now.
I mean, we've all done that.
2020 did me dirty.
We've all done that. We've all been there.
But yeah, this is my most popular merch, but really? I have to be picky about where I say it now because I work in a lot of more like corporate-y places.
Yeah.
And the rules for what I can say over the microphone are way more strict than what the performers and the guests can say. Okay. So that's why now every time I'm yeehaw,
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so I don't get in trouble because I can't be held responsible for what the audience says.
I say, you're not saying it, so whatever.
Look at me now, Dad.
Yeah, just using that noggin, huh?
Nailed it.
You must have learned that in preschool.
Oh, yeah. So let's talk about growing up. Okay. I want to go all the way back. We're going to go back to Fraggle Rock.
Fraggle
Rock, Louisiana.
I cannot. That's amazing.
So you grew up in the deep, deep South. What was your relationship with music as a kid?
I mean, I started the first time I ever sang on stage, I was 4 years old. So like I had always, my grandpa had played in a band and...
was it like singing in church?
No. I don't know how I got to this point, but I was singing with like a group of kids. It was like, I don't even know what it's...
children's choir, some kind of community children's choir.
It was like you get up and sing a song with a karaoke track. And it was like a group of kids. And the first time I did, I was 4. And we have a video of it. It's the cutest thing ever. I say that not because it's myself.
You're like, it's so cute because it's me.
It's not because it's me. But I like sang a song on the stage and I took the microphone and someone in the audience screamed, "Where are you from?" And I literally, in the microphone, I saw my mom and I go, "Mom, where am I from?" Because I had no idea. And so, like, that's the first time I was ever on stage. And I grew up around music. I mean, obviously, New Orleans is obviously big a heavy music town. And yeah, and like, my grandpa played in a band and music was always playing. My mom was big on, like, 90s country. We always had that.
Naturally.
My dad was a huge 80s rock. Like, love me some Journey and Guns N' Roses and Def Leppard and all the things. Yeah. So... yeah, I mean, I always just had music around. Like, it was always something that was there. And then I just discovered a love for singing and
was
took off.
Songwriting part of it when you were a kid, too? Or did that come in way later?
I did write songs somewhat. I mean, obviously, they weren't, like, good songs.
They were like little jingles or something. Little melodies.
Life, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, my mom used to say that, like, she has these books still, like, where I used to just start sing words in the tub, like, as I was, like, a kid, and I'd be, like, singing to myself. So they'd go get, like, a notepad and, like, write these things down that I was singing, which don't make sense,
right.
You know, but... Naturally, they don't make sense. But, yeah, like, I guess that was, like... I wouldn't even count it as writing, you know, but like I guess that was the first time I like actually showed an interest in like making up songs and like doing things like that. And then when I was about 9, I released an album and I had a couple songs on there that I had written.
That's cool.
Oh, but
you go back and listen to the Jewel Case CD.
No, I mean I used to get I used to play a lot at festivals and stuff in the area. When I was about 10, we grabbed my like little what is that called? The karaoke machine kind of thing, and went to a festival and they had a little side stage and I sat on the side stage and they kept switching out the CDs
and you just
and
sang
I was
along?
singing song after song
That's
on
cool.
this little side stage. And the guy that ran the entertainment at the time came up to my parents and said, "If you get her a band, I will put her on the main stage next year."
Damn.
And my mom's like, "Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Like, what do you expect me to find a band?" And luckily through just like singing and networking and just knowing people, there was a guy that used to play around town, and his keyboard player told my mom, I will put a band together for her. And
that's cool.
From that till the time till probably my sophomore year of high school, junior year of high school, I was playing fairs and festivals, weddings.
Did you ever play Jazz Fest?
Yeah.
Good Lord. That's a rite of passage as a New Orleans person.
Yeah. So
Louisianian? As a Wagamanian?
Wagamanian? I don't know. How do you even do that? No, I mean, it is nonstop. I was like pretty much like middle school through my high school years. I was playing fairs and festivals at least twice a week around the state of Louisiana. I would travel to Texas and play Opries and things like that. And
that's sweet.
Yeah, it is a lot.
That's way more interesting than my like background. Oh yeah, so I played in a church parking lot when I was 16.
Yeah. But it's still cool though.
I won a battle of the bands.
Journey.
So I know that you also got to do a performance with Lady A, right?
Yeah.
What's the story behind that?
Okay, that is a crazy story, honestly. I haven't told this story in a long time. So back in like it was 2015. So I used to do live band karaoke at the Hard Rock down here in Nashville.
Okay.
So every Thursday, my band and I would come set up and from like 7 to 11.
Was that up there on the second floor?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And people would come up, they'd eat, they could sign up to do karaoke. So it would be the first like hour or two would be Lunchbox from the Bobby Bone Show. He would host it. And then I would basically just be there to sing. Like if nobody was volunteering, I would just kind of be there and I'd sing a song. Well, and then he would leave and then I would host.
That's cool.
And then we do that every Thursday for ever. And one night they did a drawing for this trip to the Dominican Republic, and it was like an all-inclusive, like Lady A had a concert, blah blah blah, and you had to be there to win. So like you'd sign up. Well, they did the drawing at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So the first two people they called weren't there, and then they pulled my name out, and I was like, awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah. So then I got the trip, and me and my mom went because I could bring a guest, and then it was like an inclusive, so it had like a karaoke bar and a this and a all that. It was a Hard Rock resort. And we went in one night and we did karaoke, and so I got up and sang, and we were in line the next day to meet Lady A, like before the show, and the people in front of me went up to meet them and turned around and said, that girl right there, you need to hear her sing.
Damn.
And I'm like,
talk about a shout out.
Oh God.
You're like, don't look at me. Don't look at me.
And I didn't even know these people. And they were like, and they were like, oh really? Like, and I, we talked, and I was like, yeah, I'm at Belmont, I'm in Nashville. And they were like, keep singing, like, keep doing, they were really, really nice. And then, at the concert, so since we had like the VIP, we got into the concert first. And so we were up in the front, and we were singing along. I mean, as you
obviously
would. And I literally remember Hillary Scott looked at me, pointed at me, and did this. And I literally turned around. I literally was like, who are you talking to? My mom was like, she's pointing at you. And I was like, no, she's not.
No, she's not.
No, she's not. So then they pulled me on stage, and I pretty much just blacked out at that point.
Right.
I literally,
as we all would.
I literally watched the video after, and I was like, I pulled that microphone out of her hand so fast. Like, I own that.
Give me.
Like, I was like, this is it, And I didn't mean to, but
what
think
song
I just
did you
blacked
sing?
out. It was American Honey.
Damn.
Yeah. So
it's not like they're giving you just some random ass B-side. They're giving you a good one.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. And I was like, okay. And then I thought, okay, it's done. Like, it was cool, a great moment, got on video. And then they actually had their, like rep from like Universal or whatever, I think they were at Universal at the time, came and found me in the audience and like pulled me back because they wanted to like talk to me. So then I went backstage and had like this whole conversation with them. They were so sweet. Like it was really cool.
Then your brain starts running and you're like, is this how it happens?
If only. That's not how it works, Aaron. That is not how it works. But yeah, no, it was super cool. Like, it was very unexpected. Like, thank God I knew the words. Could you imagine if I would have gotten up there? Like, I could have been just like...
It'd be like watching Elle King do the Dolly Parton tribute.
Idea. Like, she like literally pulled me up there, I guess, just hoping that I actually was singing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Just lip singing. You're like, I was a professional karaoke singer, and now I'm going to professionally lip sync too.
Well, and it was funny because that's what they told me. I remember, like, I was back there and they were like, we pull people up all the time, and like that never happens.
That's where they actually know the words and they actually are good.
Can sing the words and sing them well, and I was like, thank you.
I see stuff like that happen at the Foo Fighters concerts because they'll be like, oh yeah, you come play the guitar, and every now and then you will get someone who can actually do it.
Yeah.
And imagine playing to 55,000 people just like that. Like, it was like the most people I've ever played to is like 300, and then all of a sudden you're like, I can't even see how small the people are because they're so far away.
Insane.
How many were at the Lady A concert?
A lot.
I mean,
was it a festival?
It was like in their like big like ballroom auditorium at the resort. So I mean, I'm assuming at least like 5,000 people, if maybe.
Right.
I mean.
Off mic, we had Alex Motto ask how many people are in this one here, but that's so cool.
I would assume I obviously didn't know. It was very dark in there, so like
it was just you up there on stage with Lady A.
blacked out, y'all. I'm not even kidding. Like I literally rewatched the video and I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I just grabbed the mic out of that girl's hand. And I didn't do it on purpose. I was just into it, you know. And I was like, this is my vibe.
And
like,
then you came to like an hour later, and you're like, how did I get here?
Yeah. Oh, I was freaking out. I literally remember I like went back to the hotel room and we called my dad on the hotel phone. I was like, you're never gonna guess what just happened.
Dad, you had to miss this one. Come on.
I know. Well, he's still not happy till this day. Every time that vacation comes up, he's like, yeah, and you just didn't bring me? Sorry.
It's like, Dad, maybe this is your warning to come to everything? Yeah. Because you never know when I might get pulled up on stage again.
No, it was fun though. Gosh, that feels so long ago. It'll be almost 10 years.
What a moment.
What a moment.
Well, hey, that's a great place to take a break. We'll come right back with more on the Nashville Tour Stop podcast. And we're back with the Nashville Tour Stop podcast, episode 109, featuring Miss Kayla Woodson, shortest guest I've ever had on the show.
Hey, you know what? I'll take that. At least I'm
You got on heels today, though.
I do have heels on. That made me 5 foot.
With the heels, are you a flat 5 foot?
I don't know. I've never tried to measure it.
Are you 4'10"?
I'm 4'11".
Don't want to miss that one.
No, you got to give me something here.
So, were you always short?
Yes.
You're like, I still am. I didn't get smaller.
Nope. I didn't get smaller and I didn't get bigger. It just kind of stayed. I feel like I hit a point where it's just like, okay.
Do you ever get people asking you questions like, do you have trouble reaching the top shelf? And you're like, obviously.
No, but I got no problem reaching the low shelf. So everything's got its,
Do you? Okay, so do either of you know?
Got its perks.
There's a girl in town named Tori Faith who has dwarfism. Okay. And I think she's like 3'4" or something. Like, she's pretty short.
Okay.
But she made a joke she's got a great sense of humor about it. She played Friends in Low Places on Broadway because she performs at Tootsie's.
Yeah.
And every time she sang it, she says, I am your friend in low places.
Like, good for her, though. Hey. Might as well make I
make the same jokes about being deaf. I'm just
right.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Like,
yeah,
can't change it.
Yeah, why not make a joke about it?
Enjoy your life.
Interesting way to segue back into the podcast. So I do want to talk about your music as much
Yeah.
as I would love to just banter the whole time.
Yeah.
I know you've released quite a bit of music, and you started releasing music when you were not that old.
No.
When did you put out your first single or your first EP?
I put out my first album when I was 9.
Damn.
I think.
Okay, so you've got all of
I
us
was
beat
9.
by a decade.
I guess, if you want to say it. Now, it wasn't like the quality content we got now, but you know what I mean? It was mostly covers. So, like, it can't even count as, like, it was one of those albums where I did, like, all covers and then, like, 3 originals.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I had a couple of those probably through, like, high school where it was, like, just, I mean, when I moved to Nashville was the first time I had really focused on, like, writing and releasing my own music.
Your music that you really care about.
Yeah.
Cool. What was the first album called?
This is hilarious. It was called Life Isn't Easy.
Whoa.
What does a 9-year-old know about that?
Yeah, that's pretty heavy
know.
for a 9-year-old.
I know. So, yeah.
God,
Honestly, it was really
dark.
cute. It's a picture of me with like a little cowboy hat on with a little Yorkie puppy dog. It's so cute.
Your life isn't easy. Here's a picture of
Here's
my
a
puppy.
cute little puppy dog.
So let's talk about then the music that you've released since you've been in Nashville.
Yeah.
You put out a single recently, last year, called The Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you write that with? Give me the story behind The Rain.
So I wrote that with Emma Barge. You know Emma and Sam Blasco.
Blam Sasko.
Yeah.
Great girl.
So I went into a write with them, and we just started like talking about dating in Nashville and how like
It's rough.
awful of an experience it is.
Okay, before we get more into The Rain, this brings up a whole tangent that I want to dive into. Let's talk about just one of the worst dates we've each been on. And I want to hear yours first.
Okay.
Because as you can tell, we are both single.
So I think mine would have to be a while ago. I went on like a Hinge date. This was like had to be at least 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And we were there. First of all, like I have no problem with you like drinking. That does not bother me. Like I gotta drink, you gotta drink. This guy had like at least 6 beers in like an hour. It was
2 drinks per date. Like that's a max.
It was a second date. And, like, I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it's like one of those where it's not like a red flag yet, but it's like, it's kind of like creeping on red. Like, we're going orange flag territory, you know what I'm saying? So
dive her down.
So then I was like, okay, whatever. Well, then in the middle of the date, he gets a phone call. And basically, like, he tells me it's his mom. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, my mom never calls me. Like, I'm going to take it. And I was like, okay. He goes outside for 30 minutes.
I would have left. Whoa.
And sits on the phone to the point where, like, we get the food and I, like, eat half of it and put the rest of it in a box. Because I'm like, at this point, I'm tapped out.
You're like, did he just, you're like, did I just get stood up?
I know. I was like tapped out at that point. I was talking to another guy on the phone. I was like texting somebody else while I was waiting for him.
You're like,
I was
like, you want to meet up? My date sucks.
I'm like, I'm over it. So yeah, then he came back and I was kind of like, hey, like, good to
what
hang,
the fuck?
Gotta go. Wait, it gets worse. So then.
But wait, there's more.
So then we're walking to the car. I purposely was like, okay, like, it was great to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, oh, I'll give you your car. And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm fine. And then.
Like, no, thank you.
Yeah. And then he was like, I got to my car. He went in for it, right? But, like, I did, like, the side hug, that awkward, like, let me hurry up and shift. So, like, this is it. And when I pulled back from the hug, homeboy just planted one on me.
Like, grabbed your head kind of thing?
Just all of a sudden kissed me.
You're like,
and I was
this is my face.
And I was like, ooh. And, like, I pulled back. Like, it wasn't even enjoyable. That was the problem, right? So, like...
It was a 6 beers kiss.
Yeah. So then I pull back. And I wasn't dramatic. I just was like, okay, like,
No,
I'm done
thank
with
you.
this. And then he kissed me again.
Gross.
And I was just like...
So homeboy got denied 3 times and was still like, or 2 times and was still like, 3rd time's the charm.
I guess. I mean, he ended up texting me, and to be fair, I unintentionally ghosted him because...
You don't have to lie.
No, I swear.
We intentionally ghosted this boy.
Him because he texted me like a week later, that like Saturday, and I was in the middle of getting ready for a wedding that I was going to back home.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the hectic of like, you know, being a girl, get my hair...
I'm busy right now.
Makeup, blah, blah, blah. Genuinely forgot to text him back.
Right.
Because, like, I don't like the whole ghosting thing. Like, I'd rather somebody be like, hey, I'm not into you. Like, at least let me know.
Hey,
so
you tried kissing me twice, and I tried giving you the signal.
I try. I mean, I went for the side hug. The side hug is an obvious single.
Yeah.
Signal. I'm obviously single.
That's the best. Make a mark for that. Damn. Oh. The side hug is the single.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
This is water.
You're like, it's not a water bottle full of vodka.
No, yeah. I feel like the side hug is like the obvious like signal. Like I'm not into it, but I don't think he called.
Homeboy didn't get it.
Didn't get it.
Yikes.
So yeah, that was probably my worst, most recently, like dating.
That's pretty brutal.
It's not recent. I mean, it's been a couple years.
So
I don't care.
I've got one that's about my date drinking too much. So I'll just go down
Okay,
we'll go down the same highway.
Perfect. I can't wait.
So I had lived here for probably a year or two, and I think it was a Bumble or a Hinge date too.
Okay.
Because I definitely hadn't met this girl in the real life, but I was at the gym at the time, and we were messaging back and forth. She's like, "Hey, I just canceled a date tonight. Do you want to go out?" And I'm like,
Okay, wait. First of all,
red flag.
red flag. I just canceled a date, so you won't go out?
Second, talk about being a second choice. She's like, "I just canceled a date. Do you want to go out?" And I was so single.
Desperate?
Thanks. Single, desperate.
We've all been there.
Those are
right?
those are the diplomatic words I'm going to use. But she had asked if I wanted to go out, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I said, "Well, how about you tell me where you're going to meet up? I'll just meet you up in an hour." And she gave me the address to the Thompson Lane Applebee's across the street from the Guitar Center.
Yeah.
And I think I've told this on the podcast before, but who cares? Because I don't remember this girl's name. Probably good.
Probably.
So we both showed up, and I remember walking into the Applebee's with her, and she goes, "Yeah, so I haven't had a drink in 9 months." And I was like, "Oh, that's okay. We don't have to drink tonight." She goes, "No, I'm drinking tonight." I'm like, "Oh, no. Oh, no." So we sat down in Applebee's.
$1 margaritas?
Applebee's was doing the 2-for-1 drinks. So it was
good.
2-for-1 margaritas, or in her case, 2-for-1 Long Islands.
Oh, jeez.
And she drank 4 Long Islands
Islands
in under an hour.
You drank her out of that thing?
And she
How'd
like
she walk?
she got so drunk, and like you can tell when somebody's getting drunk because they start slurring their speech, and then they start. She just went from sober to she became that drunk, but she was so hammered. She asked our gay waiter to have a threesome with us.
Oh, wow.
She's like, you want to come have sex with me in the sky? And he's like, "I'm gay. No, thank you."
I'm gay.
And she goes, "Well, I need to take a piss."
Oh.
So she gets up and goes to the bathroom, and I apologize to the waiter. I'm like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." And he goes, "Your girlfriend sucks." And I'm like, "This is our first date." And he just goes, "Ha!" And
That's honestly amazing. That's
yeah,
a
I was
great
like, "This is our first date. I've never met this girl before." He goes, "Bro, that sucks." Okay. And I was like, "Can you please cut her off?" He goes, "You got it." So he took the drink, and I signed the check and everything and waited for her to come back. She goes, "Where the fuck is my drink?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, they cut you off because you're drunk." She goes, "I'm not fucking drunk." And she started yelling. She smashed everything off of the table onto the floor.
Okay, yours is better.
And then she stood up and stormed out,
Oh, wow.
making a scene in the Thompson Lane Applebee's. Meanwhile, I'm there on my first drink. trying to apologize to the staff and everything. Like, so I went and sat down at the bar by myself, as I should have originally.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking my beer, and the bartender's like, "What the fuck was all of that about?" And I was like, "Well, that was a bad first date."
Oh.
And they gave me my second drink, and I was sitting there, and the girl comes back in and tries to get another round from the bartender. And the bartender goes, "Was that the girl that you just went on a date with that just got...
She came back in?
That just came back." And I was like, "That's her." And the bartender loved her to death. Sassy black woman just goes, "Huh-uh!" And she walked off into the distance, never to be seen again until last year. She's friends with some of our friends and swears that it didn't happen.
That's because she don't remember after 4 Long Island iced
That's
teas.
what I
Jesus
said.
Christ.
That's what I said. This girl swears up and down that it didn't happen. And I remember seeing the girl with my friends. And I had that, like, the gut reaction. Like, it kicked in, and I was just like,
I got PTSD.
I was like, yeah, no kidding. And I texted my friend and was like, "You remember the really bad date I told you about, the girl at the Thompson Lane Applebee's?" That's your friend.
You're hanging out with her.
And yeah, that's the end of it.
That is
but
funny.
yeah, I wouldn't remember that if I drank 4 Long Islands either.
No.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
I think what we're saying here is dating from dating apps is bad.
Which is the premise of The Rain.
Yep. Perfect.
No, it really is. I mean, we were genuinely, like, talking about that. Like, just how, like, there's so many people on these apps. And just dating in general here. Because I feel like the problem, too, with those things is, like, it's like a tourist town, right? So, like, a lot of the time it's people coming through. Or, like, they just want to hook up for the night. Or... like, there's just so many things. And, like, it's really hard to find people that, like, want to commit.
Right.
And so the whole premise of, like, it says it in the song is, like, you know, like, this drought's got to end someday, so what makes you the rain? It's like, what makes you the person that's actually going to make me feel like I'm not wasting my time anymore?
I love that.
In a way. Yeah, it's, like, a very metaphoric way. It was also nasty weather that day, so I think the rain kind of just, like, it was like, what can we use as a metaphor for, like, this shit show of a dating scene?
Yeah, because it's bad.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. So
that was my last hinge date.
I think I went on one more after that. And I've been, like, I'll download the app and swipe through and then be like, nah, delete it again.
Yeah.
I had one of those moments where I was swiping through or something, and I was like, is this really all that's out there? But then I looked at, like, turned the mirror around and was like, oh, no. I'm on here, too.
That's the thing. I feel like those things are rigged because I feel like they want you to pay for the good people.
They definitely...
I've heard this.
They definitely paywall it.
But I've heard that, like, if you, like, pay the, what is it, like, $15 a month or whatever, that you get, like, better matches.
That I would believe it.
I mean, I can't even tell you the last time I was on Hinge. So
keep it that way. It probably hasn't gotten better in the last 5 years. Has anything in the world gotten better in the last 5 years?
No. I mean, well,
except for the S&P 500.
We don't have COVID anymore. Well, I guess we do.
Okay, so we're not shut down. So
we're
one
not
thing.
Shut down. Let's do that. Let's start there, which I think is why a lot of people started on those apps again, right? Like, it was kind of like you have nothing else to do and you can't go see anybody. Like, you can't go do anything.
Nope.
So, like, you might as well talk to people online.
Right. And then if I don't want to go see you, I can blame it on COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a friend, I will never forget during COVID, I had a friend that came to my show with a first date, like a girl that was on the first date. And then in the parking lot of our show, they made out. And then I had to cancel my show the next day at the same place because homegirl had COVID and he made out with her.
Oh, God.
So then he had COVID.
Oh, God.
So then it was just a whole thing. And I'm like,
that
are you
sucks.
serious right now?
You're like, could you not have kept it in your pants for one more day?
Also, just like there's no way you didn't know you had COVID the night before.
Right.
Like, how does that work? Like, that makes no sense. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, I think it's just a weird time. But that is the premise of The Rain, was kind of just 3 girls talking about how awful dating is. in this city. Now, it's not all bad. I mean, I have tons of friends that have met on like dating apps or have met people like out and about here. So it's not all awful. I think it's just
awful for us.
Yeah, it's not just us. But yeah.
So who produced The Rain?
Ryan Ladd.
Okay. What was the recording process like?
So we basically threw the tracks down for the music in a studio.
Okay.
So I had all the guys come in and play that day, and then I just did like a scratch vocal, and then we did the actual vocal at his house.
Cool.
In his like studio in his house. Yeah.
So what's planned for this year? I know you've got more music coming up this year. Tell me about the first release and then any subsequent releases you've got coming up.
Yeah, so this is like the first time in my career within the last however years that I've like actually been really like on it. And like I have a bad habit of like releasing a song and then like 2 years go by and I'm like, oh crap, like I really need to put out another song. So like I really this year I was like,
oh hello Airbnb.
For a second. This year I was like, okay, I want to like make it a point to like release continuously. So I did The Rain in October. February 9th, so in like 2 weeks, I have another song, Situationship, coming out.
That's a good one.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pumped about it.
That's a good one. Did you record and produce everything the same way as The Rain?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so put the music down. We actually did the music for that in The Rain the same day.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I had the guys come in and play that day.
Great.
I did add, I mean, you know, obviously you add things as you're like getting more of the feel of the song. I will say like for me, Situationship was harder than The Rain. The Rain was very cut and dry, like acoustic, very...
Is this a little bit more pop bop vibe?
Yes, this is a jam. Like it was funny because I wrote it with the same girls, Emma and Sam. And funny enough, I was on the phone with one of my best friends. Literally, she was seeing a guy, but like he wouldn't commit. Like there were just things he would do that were like, I can't tell if he wants to be with me or he's just like messing around and like doesn't want to commit. So she was complaining to me my whole drive to this right, and I literally hung up and went in there and we started talking as girls do. I feel like most co-writes start with like a whole like catch up / like
it's just like so tell me what's wrong.
Right. So we did that and I was like, you're never gonna guess what my friend is dealing with right now. Like what? And so we just started talking about it and I was like, it's like this weird like situation thing and we're like, for some reason situationship came up and when they were like, oh, do you know what a situationship? And I was like, so yeah, and then we wrote it literally based on that. And I actually literally left that right. We did like a work tape, left the right, and I sent it to her.
Wow.
I just wrote this song about you. And I was terrified. I'm like, she's probably going to hate me. Like, I literally was like thinking the worst. Like, she's probably like, seriously, Kayla? Like, and I really didn't have any plan to release it. There was no, it was just fun. And she literally texted me back and was like, I'm crying right now. Like, this is so cool. Like,
I love it.
You took everything. Because I literally was like looking at texts that we had or like thinking about what she had told me. And a lot of those lines in that song are things that she told me.
Real life things she said. And
so after that, I like showed it. Like, I do this thing with like new songs where I like just like feel it out with like my friend group. Like, I'm like, listen to this. And I kind of like based on the reaction can kind of tell like. What's gonna like The Rain, one of my really good friends, like I showed it to her in the car and she sobbed. And I was like, I guess this is a good song.
I guess this is okay.
But like so I like played out with my friends and the first time I played Situationship for a couple of my friends, literally they were like, I can see you singing this in an arena. Like,
hell yeah.
And I was like, Sold.
All right. Let's do it. Right? Lady A, if you need an opener.
Right. If you need an opener, please call. I'll have my own mic this time. So
what is the release date for Situationship?
The 9th, February 9th.
All right. We're coming up on it. Actually, it's
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, that'll be out just a few days after this podcast.
I know.
Pre-save now.
Please do. I keep looking at that camera and nobody's looking at me in that camera. No, it'll be fun. Like, and this is the first time I'm doing like a release party. Like, I'm gonna do the whole shebang.
Where is the party, the concert, everything? Where's
it's at Whiskey Room Live in Kings Bowling in Franklin.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm pumped. So there's like a music venue in the back of the bowling alley. So yeah, we're gonna make it like a whole shindig.
That's gonna be
so
awesome.
Pumped.
Do you have any more singles planned for the rest of 2024?
Yes.
Cool. How many more?
I don't want to give away all my secrets, Aaron.
At least a couple.
At least 2 or 3.
Cool.
For sure.
Cool.
That are like ready to go, but like in the books, like in the process.
Well, Stream the Rain.
Please do.
Pre-save situationship.
Please do.
Before we get to the very end, do you have anything you'd like to tell the listeners this week that's just a final thought?
No.
Last week's... You're like, nah. Last week, Mara Strepa's words were, be kind, don't be a dick.
I honestly can't think of anything. I just, be a good person. That's what
Be
I
a good
would
person.
say.
Don't be a dick.
Yes. Be a good person.
Maybe
like,
that can be my new sign-off.
I'm a big, I'm a big karma person. Be a good person.
Be a good person.
We got enough crappy people out there.
Mick Jagger and Keith Richards being the exception to the rule.
Yeah. I mean, but they do it in a cool way.
Yeah, they do it in a cool way. Well, Kayla, give us your plugs. Tell us where we can find you online.
So, website. Obviously, Aaron has looked at it. Some of these things he knew, obviously. But I mean, I always tell people, anything with an HTTPS, I have it. Like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I used to have a MySpace, but that's not a thing anymore.
Let's bring TikTok, MySpace back.
I'm considering farmersonly.com.
Nice.
Or Christian Mingle.
Cool.
We'll see.
See what happens.
After that whole talk about
follow me on Christian Mingle.
You will not find me. But yeah, no, honestly, anywhere.
What's your social media handle?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm glad you think of these things.
I know you're Kay Woodson Music on Instagram, but it's a change between the
platforms.
For all of them?
Mm-hmm. Kay Woodson Music, the letter K. Woodson.
Well, we'll have that linked in the episode description. Yeah. KaylaWoodson.com.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for listening this week. Kayla, thank you for joining us. Episode 109 featuring country artist Kayla Woodson. We'll be back next week for episode number 110. Please give us a follow at Nashville Tour Stop on your social media platforms. If you'd like to attend a live show, we've got our full live event calendar on our website at NashvilleTourStop.com. Leave us a 5-star review, share with a friend, and until next time, please do remember that all roads lead right back here to the Nashville Tour Stop. Yeehaw.